Hello, I'm Raul. This is. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up? I'm John.
So we're here in Los Angeles, California, at Westside Training Center. We're talking about all kinds of things, but we might as well start off with the our point of view on all these modern type jujitsu like guard, and they're kind of like different styles, right? A lot of people are trying to do a lot of leg locks nowadays. I think it's also kind of because the mainstream jiu-jitsu rules, they didn't allow leg locks until, and actually they only allowed a few leg locks until brown and black belt, and you know, straight ankle lock was always available since white belt, but that's pretty much all you could do. So I think that's kind of like why nowadays leg lockers are doing really well, but there's a high chance that other people will catch up, you know. What are your thoughts on some of these superstars that are using leg locks nowadays?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that old man that's going to yell at the kids to get off my lawn a little bit here, you know. And I mean, when I look back at my time and my journey and all this, that I think when I think back about like, with the leg submissions and catch. The toe holds. I had a brief little time with the sambo and things as well. But I think that one of the things I guess I was going to say would be the old man like yells to get off my lawn. It's like this is stuff we've been saying for years, So like these guys now are all like, oh, look what we've discovered. It's like you haven't discovered anything. I mean, any more than I have or any. So I think the guard games they've evolved it, and I mean for me, like I tell my guys, I mean, we do what we do, and just understanding the mechanics of what we do, and understanding that, like when I've been out here, get thrown in a situation where somebody's like, "Have you seen this?" I'm like, "No." Oh, well, what would you do here? Boom, 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 that, or this, like there's so many things I would do here. I think that's the part where you get to. You're in a situation that you've never really been coached for this situation exactly, but you have the knowledge to just respond. It's like, okay, yeah, I've never had this type of guard thrown at me, but this is what I'm going to do when it's thrown at me. So it's something that I don't have to go. Should I go here, 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 or a bunch of different steps? I just understand the basic mechanics and kind of that philosophy of how we do things and how we deal with that, and able to adjust accordingly to their game. So I guess what I'm saying is I don't have to go somewhere else to evolve my game. My game is already there, or what it's what I've learned. So I just got to go into what I've been taught and go, how would I respond to this? And I think that's one of the things that's different. And then of course, I mean, I think guys, I can remember when I was doing jiu-jitsu and you go on all these jiu-jitsu schools and be like, okay, no leg locks. And I think all it did is, what happens is you get I think a bunch of people, a lot of the grapplers today just aren't used to seeing them, aren't used to them. And, like I say about the dun, 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 that heel hook, and everybody's afraid to get heel hooked. And, I mean, getting a toe hold is just, it's the same thing. And I think because of that, it's given some of the guys that are going to these leg locks a little bit of an advantage right now, because people, they haven't prepared themselves to see it. And if you're not prepared for something, really what you don't know will beat you. So,
yeah, definitely. So yeah, and like I said earlier, it's like because of the mainstream rules of it, like they've barred a lot of the leg locks. So right now, a lot of people are still scared of it. So that's why we're seeing these guys win. But like if people could learn, say even if they can come to us and find out about like catch wrestling fundamentals. That's the thing. It's like the catch wrestling fundamentals are still like wrestling fundamentals ultimately, but I think with not even with the twist or anything like that. It's actually this is the way wrestling was. So you're always in danger. Your ankles could always be in danger from the get go. For however long catch wrestling has existed. So this isn't like new to us. So if you kind of use some of the catch wrestling fundamentals, where you can shut down a lot of these attacks, right? Especially if someone's coming at you like it's seated, right? Like so a lot of people are doing seated guard, or they're basically butt scooting towards you, trying to hook onto your ankles or your legs to try to set up a leg lock. Then if you don't shut that down, or if you don't know how to shut it down, then you could be leg locked.
Yeah, I like people that scoot to me, because it just, I mean, for me, I know some of the wrestlers that complain about it, but it just makes everything so much easier for me. You know, it's less work for me. I don't have to, go in. I don't have to battle to get a takedown. I don't have to do any of that. So to me, when I hear wrestlers whine about, I've seen several wrestlers, believe me, over the years. Oh, they're jumping guard, they're butt scooting. It sounds like to me that they're actually the person who's complaining about that is the person that's kind of being the whiny, the person that's being the I don't know, say offended, but the person who, it's like, oh, they're going to jump guard. I'm like, well, so why do you care? If you're worth your salt, you understand that you shouldn't. You should be happy about this. And I think a lot of times you can show their cards right real quick, because I'm like, nothing better than somebody wanting to fight when they start on their back. I love that, But yeah, and I think it's like, as I said before, I think you get a lot of like, I don't want to say hatred toward jiu-jitsu, but I think a lot of, I don't think catch wrestling, a lot of, we could go into the whole thing about people like legitimacy, or people that should be coaching or shouldn't be coaching, people that are producing guys that are winning or not, but, catch hasn't done itself any favors in some of the things it's done. You often I hear like, how are we going to make catch big again? Catch is here, and it's always been here, it's always going to be here. Back in the days, they didn't even call it, they just called it wrestling. And, I think that for jiu-jitsu does evolve its game. There's a big difference in the styles of jiu-jitsu. Like we were talking about the other day. You remember the days of, like, it was like House and Gracie that was teaching, like, basically straight self-defense jiu-jitsu, like, where they're still incorporating some strikes and stuff. Then you get guys that are doing these crazy, these little X guards and all this stuff. The sad thing for wrestling, in a way, wrestling has gone the opposite, because wrestling every year takes away a little bit of wrestling on the amateur sides and stuff. It's like, okay, here's a new rule change, here's a new rule change. And it's, I hear people going, oh, but funk wrestling has evolved the game. That's always been too. I mean, when they're taking away the more rules and the more that the referee has to decide outcomes, the less of a sport you have, the less of an art you have. I don't like that. I like the fact that jiu-jitsu has moved in that direction. And I think for wrestling, I think it is. It's understanding his basic concepts. Like, I don't, it's somebody's like, well, if you've never seen this card, what do? I wrestle my game. Yeah. Getting choked, getting armbarred, and leg locked, none of those things are going to change. Those are always going to be what they are. How they try to get into them might be a little different. So,
yeah. So stick with the wrestling fundamentals.
Yeah. I mean, you got 2 hours a day to spend to practice, and you're going to go against like guys in Noggin, ADC, or submission grappling events. If you got a 2-hour practice, and that's all you get, I surely wouldn't spend it. I know wrestlers would do it. Why would you spend an hour and a half on takedowns? The fight's not going to be occurring there. So.
All right. So if you guys have any questions, just let us know down in the comment section. We'll definitely be happy to answer. And we're recording a lot of stuff, so we'll be releasing some of that shortly too. So stay tuned. All right. Thanks for watching.
Take care.